Hi there, I'm Paula Belinden. I am a master business and mindset coach, and I'm super glad to be back with you right now. And we're at step 3 of getting that easy breezy money mojo coming to you. And I want to tell you today's step, and it's really, really interesting. And this is a game changer for many, many people. And that is for you to evaluate your story. All right. So all of us are telling stories about everything that happens to us all day long. And we're particularly involved in telling stories about our money, about receiving money, about paying things, about how things are going with money. We have all of this, kind of track going on in our brain. And some of it is related to messages that you receive from our culture. Some of it's related to what you saw in your home, mom and dad. And there's another training I do called Big Money Mindset that takes you deep dive into a lot of these things so you can clear it out forever. But what I want you to look at today is what are some of the stories that you're telling, okay? So for me, an example is it used to be when I got like this big amount of money that came in, because I coach and sometimes people pay me in one time. They'll write one check for it, and it's really wonderful. And I would first feel, here's one story, I would feel surprised that I would get that money. So that's a story maybe about me not feeling like I deserve it. I'm surprised I got this. And so I can change that story to, oh man, of course I got this. I'm going to do some good coaching, right? So that's the first story, is surprise I got it. Second story was, oh my God, I've got this money. Oh my God, it's all going to go away. I've got all these bills to pay. I've got to pay it out. I just got all this money and now it's gone. It's gone already. Big story that I was telling myself, that as I bring money in, more than what I receive is going out. So what I want you to do is I want you to listen to yourself, and you don't have to talk it out loud, but you can listen to that beautiful mind that's going on in there and the tapes that are running. They're stories that you're telling. And I want you to listen to those stories, and you can do it today. You can do it all week long. I would suggest you do it as much as you can. And some of them are really funny, and you'll start entertaining yourself that you have the story going on. But the next thing I want you to do after you hear your story is I want you to put a new story in there. So when you hear that story, put the new story in. So when I started looking at, oh my God, everything that comes in is going to go out, and I have all these bills, and I'm never going to get them all paid, and then I'm never going to get any more money coming in. It's almost like that fast coming in. When I started saying, okay, the news story is, I'm so grateful that I got this money. That's a lot of money. I'm very honored that somebody, wants to pay me for my services. I'm going to make a choice today to happily pay this amount of that amount of money that came in, whatever that amount was, half of it or maybe a third of it, whatever. I'm also going to use some of the money to have fun. And I'm going to put some of the money somewhere else so I know I have it. So I was taking care of me, having some fun. I was also taking care of, obligations, and I was celebrating, and I was grateful. And that's the new story I use now. And it's so much better. It feels so much better. And the interesting thing is, money just keeps coming in, all from different ways. I'm telling you, I did not live this way for most of my life. So trust me, and you can trust 90% of my clients. I want you to go ahead and start listening, and maybe even write about the stories that you're hearing about money. When you think about money, or you write a check, you send it out. And there's also this concept that's called happy money. And so the more that you befriend money, the more that you thank money for allowing you to pay your bills. You got to use electricity in advance, with the trust that you would give some money for that service. You get to eat in exchange for the money you're giving. The thankfulness of what you've gotten because of the money, that happy money story. The more you make friends with money, the more that's going to come. And that is absolutely true. And one other piece to this story of money, a big piece, is many of us have put money on a pedestal. And when you put anything on a pedestal, what do you think happens? When you put something on a pedestal, there's like a message inside of you that it's too high for you to reach. Kind of turns into a worth thing. I'm not worth it, or I couldn't reach them, or I'm not worthy. You're on a pedestal, I'm down here. It also puts resistance up, because how could I ever approach this? I really want it. And then you kind of get into like needy or beg mode, or how do I figure this out? What do I have to do? Have you ever done that? Why isn't the money coming? Where is it hiding? I can't figure out, how does everybody else get it and I don't know how? That's putting money on a pedestal. And so when you put something on a pedestal and you're grabbing so hard to get it, it becomes less available to you. So again, in the Big Money Mindset program, we take a deeper dive into this, but right now you can solve this by making a decision to take money off the pedestal and allow it to be just as, peaceful, just as calm, just as much of a part of your life as feeling love, which is probably more important, feeling happy, feeling grateful. All of those things, your spirituality, your spiritual process, your emotional process, what you do physically, going out running, it can be equally important, and you can be friends with it just like you are if you are those other processes. If you are not, you may want to listen to the stories that you're telling about it, and you can make a decision. Remember, decision is very important. Remember the decision I made when I was driving in the car from the airport from Guatemala. I made a decision to change it all, and this requires you to take a decision to tell a new story. So I want you to go ahead and listen to what's going on in your head. You can write it down if you want to, but start hearing the story, being aware of it, and then you can retell it. And you don't have to do this perfectly the first time. Nobody does this perfectly the first time. This is like, like those of us who used to lift weights and then maybe don't. And then when you get back into it, you've lost a little bit of your muscle, and it takes time to build it up. Well, you're building a muscle right now. You're building a new way of thinking. You're building a new brain pattern, and it takes time. So give yourself compassion and just stay aware of the story, and you can change them around. And we'll see you soon.